Well, good morning, everyone. Tommy Lee here with A21, and I get a chance to sit down. And every couple of weeks, I get a chance to sit down with one of our partners. And Lisa Lehmann is the person I get a chance to talk with today. So, Lisa, where's home for you? Where are you at right now?
Oh, hi, Tommy. It's so good. I'm so glad to be here. I am in Grand Haven, Michigan.
Yeah. Wow. And so we were just talking before. You grew up in New Jersey,
hmm
went to school in the Grand Rapids in the area right there. Lived in Grand Rapids for the longest time. And what do you do for a living now?
My official title is I'm a goldsmith. I handcraft jewelry, artisan jewelry. So that is I know it's like, it sounds like a fancy title, but with the training, that's what it's called. But I work in silver and gold, but technically I'm a goldsmith.
Yes. So how did that start? Did you go to college during your time at thinking you were going to do that, or did that evolve over time?
Actually, I knew I wanted to be an artist from the time I could talk. So the plan was to go and get an art degree. Like that was never a question. And I thought I wanted to be an art teacher, or something like that. In college, I actually have a fine arts degree in photography and illustration. And I worked in graphic design for 12, 14 years. So started my own company and did that, but I didn't like it.
Really?
It was too much in the box for me,
Got it.
and I'm
Got it.
kind of a hands-on person. And actually, I was pregnant for my fourth child,
Cool.
and I started making jewelry for fun.
Yeah.
And it just kind of it took off. People loved it. Ended up going back to school, and took some metals classes and did some further education. And that was now 20 years ago. So I've been doing this for 20 years. So don't
Very
do the math. Don't do the math.
And so, Lisa, what does that look on a day to day? Are you working with different companies? Are you working with individual buyers? What does that look like for you?
Well, it's changed a lot over the 2 decades, because when I started, obviously my kids were small. I had 4 kids under 6 and under. So I was full-time mom, but I was also building a business and I was homeschooling. So
Yeah.
I was doing a major juggling act. And so at that time I started selling word of mouth. I did shows in people's homes, and then I moved into, got my website built and started selling online. Then I started doing wholesale to stores, and now, I mean, now it's 90% online. And then I do have a few wholesale accounts still, but it's mostly, me to consumer direct.
Very, very good. And when you get a piece of whether it's gold or silver, how long does it take you to craft it and design it and work on it?
Somebody just asked me that question yesterday. It really depends. If I'm doing a custom order for someone, it could take a couple weeks from start to finish. We also have a line that's kind of our production line. And so those pieces we can kind of get out rather quickly. So it just depends. It really depends on the piece and whatever. But it's a 9 to 5 plus.
Yeah.
When you own your own business, you never just put in the 40 hours a week.
For those who are listening, I just love to sit down and talk with some of our supporters, our partners at A21, hear their story, because look, we want to make sure we continue to honor those supporter donors. All of us live in a journey. All of our journeys are unique. And when we begin to hear the stories, what motivates us, what captures us, we are continuously on this journey. And so that's the purpose. I want to be able to hear your voice and hear your thoughts, Lisa.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love what I do. It's always like the jewelry and the making and the art is what I do, but my passion is really about people. And
Yeah.
I think that's what I love what I do, because it's a jewelry really speaks to people. So the connections
Got
and
it.
that's what motivates me on a true level.
Got it. Now, A21, how did you get connected with A21?
So about 2 years ago, as my business was growing, I started thinking I really want to partner. I want to do something. I want to give back, and started really looking into different organizations. And I knew I wanted to do something with trafficking and slavery. Like that really kind of hit the heartstrings. 3 out of my 4 children are daughters, and so just always that fear of that sex trafficking kind of thing, And I really started doing a lot of research along those lines. Last year, COVID hit. I had a really bad year on top of that. I had breast cancer.
Wow.
I blew out my knee. My mom passed away. I mean, it was just like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was one of those years. And when and by the time I got to the end of the year and I was healthy again and I was recovering, I was like, I am so grateful to be able to do what I do and for everything in my life. I now is the time to really, research that again
Yeah.
and give back.
Yeah.
And I had known Christine Kane's ministry. And so, on the bottom of anything she sends out, there was always stuff about A21. So I linked over to there and just, started reading and watching the videos and listening to the stories. And I think even something she had said, like, you always are looking, but I finally was seeing it. And it
Got
was
it.
like, wow, I was literally just overwhelmed. I'm like, I have to partner here.
Yeah. Lisa, for me, is I made one of my first trips to A21 to Cambodia and Thailand.
Mhm.
And for me, it was the kids. And just because I have a one
Mhm.
and a half and 6 year old, I get there. One of the things I notice is, wow, especially in Thailand, there are babies when people are holding those babies. And they said, Tommy, you have to be careful that those babies are actually being sold and passed around. They
Wow.
drug the babies and then they pass it to each person begging for money. And I'm thinking, how in the
Wow.
world do people allow this to happen?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I was a father and those were my daughters, it breaks my heart. And how
Yeah.
do we begin to address those problems?
Right, exactly. And so to find an organization that's interested in helping the one and then finding and it's so broad in so many different countries and all different aspects of slavery and it's just yeah, it's I can't believe it's there. Like in my mind I want to pretend it's not, but it's really there and wow, if I can partner with an organization that's making a difference, then I feel like at least I'm doing a little tiny something.
And in some sense, your story, and I hope that whoever's listening to it will be encouraged because you're learning how to give back in the midst of your trials. With
Yeah.
your mom passing away, you mentioned about breast cancer. I actually struggle with sinus cancer.
Okay.
And a couple of years ago, I think because we have cancer, we understand each other to a degree. That
Mhm.
cancer I have a runny nose, eliminate almost all my saliva, taste buds, both my hearing, majority of my hearing, my tear ducts, everything. I
Unbelievable.
lived in pain, nonstop pain for 8 weeks during the chemo. It was so painful because it destroyed everything inside my neck, outside of my neck. And
Mm.
you have to learn how to mentally focus. And for us, we're driven sometimes by our faith. How do you look to a higher degree of being to really be able to give you guidance in faith?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was it was kind of for me, my faith life is really big. It's super important. And when all these trials kept, I mean, and some people we've joked about it now. It's like I was living a bad country song. Like it was one thing after another. And I just felt like, okay, I can either be sorry for myself and just, be miserable in my misery, or I can look outside of that and see all the blessings that came with it. And be happy and praise God anyway. And so that was it's a choice. It was definitely a choice.
Lisa, I mean, for you personally, where are the kids up to now? Are they all grown up? Are they living in the
Well,
area?
yes, they're almost, I mean, I'm an empty nester, so to speak. I have, my son is married and lives in Iowa. He actually just left for National Guard boot camp training, so I'm super proud of him. My oldest daughter is actually also in National Guard training. She graduated college and is off doing training for that. My middle daughter is a senior at Hope College in Holland, Michigan, as a
Yeah.
nursing student. She'll graduate in May. And my youngest daughter is a freshman in college, and she's in Arizona at Grand Canyon University.
Very, very good.
So I'm
How often?
almost like completely have them all gone, which
Yeah.
is crazy because that was my life
Yeah.
forever. So it's wild.
How often do all the kids come back together?
We Christmas, it was kind of they were in and out and in and out. So at Christmas, I got to see every one of them. So at one point or another, which is a
Yeah.
huge blessing. Yeah.
And you realize a lot of times those times are rare. Before they were always at the house. Now these times are rare.
Yeah, like you have littles, you know. I always say the days are long, but the years are short, and that is a true, true statement. I can't believe mine are like old, real people right now.
Yeah. Well, Lisa, I mean, this podcast or this interview is about journey. And so thank you for being part of that journey. One last word that I'm going to ask for you, for those you've had to deal with it. We've dealt with COVID. We've looked at racial tensions in the city. For some people, they're dealing with unemployment. What is your encouragement for those who are looking, who are struggling? What's your encouragement? And give us a word of encouragement of hope that has guided you.
Well, I think, it has been such a tough year, and you have to look deep within yourself. You have to look within and realize how much you have to offer to others. And I believe every single person has something to offer. And it may be one person, it may be a million people, but look within yourself and give back, because that's when that's more rewarding to you than you can possibly imagine.
And Lisa, for your website, where can people find you? They're listening and says, man, I want to sign up, or I could buy something.
Well, I would love that. My website, Instagram, Facebook is all Lisa Lehmann Designs, one word. So you can find me everywhere.
I'm going to look, because I'm going to tell you a side story, and everyone else. I was dating my wife at the time, and she wanted earrings from Tiffany. So I said, I don't know where to buy it. So Tiffany's, and then on the website it says 60% off Tiffany earrings. I said, oh, there's a side website for 60% off Tiffany earrings. So you know where I'm going. So I end up buying this 60%. And then it started discoloring. And after a couple of months, I bought it for her. And so we took it to the Tiffany store, and they said to her, these are fake Tiffany earrings, right? Oh man, she looked at me. She was so angry at me.
Well, I promise you will not get anything fake from me. And, Valentine's Day is around the corner. Mother's Day is coming up. All these, and women always like jewelry. And I make men's jewelry too. So
yeah, I am going to take a look. So Lisa, thank you so much.
No, thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to talk with you today. I appreciate it.
We'll talk soon, Lisa.
All right. Take care.